So Bison, in one of the ceremonies, he said, I didn't want to die, but your dad would have died if I didn't die. So he took my dad's moment to go, because my dad and him got a surgery on the same day.
Bison said at one of the events, "I didn't want to die, but your dad would have died if I hadn't." He took my dad's moment to go because both of them had surgery on the same day. The show Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan didn't end because it too ran out of ideas. It fell apart because of major scandals, time-consuming cases, and personal tragedy. Cesar Millan was one of TV's biggest stars for almost a decade because he helped owners who had given up on their dangerous dogs. But despite his success, he faced rising accusations about how he trained the dogs, pressure from animal rights groups, legal battles, and a mental breakdown that almost ended his life. How did The Dog Whisperer really end after 9 seasons? How did the person who taught people how to be calm and in charge lose control of his own life? Are you ready to find out the shocking reason why The Dog Whisperer ended? Music. The Mexican kid who got across the line with $100, Cesar Millan, 21, was from Culiacan, Mexico, and he was standing at the U.S. border with $100 that his father had given him and a crazy plan. While he was growing up, he watched American TV shows like Lassie and Ren Tin Tin. Around the age of 10, he decided he wanted to be the world's best dog trainer. His grandfather had dogs on the farm where he grew up, and he noticed early on that animals didn't act the same way around him as they did around other people. He didn't go after them. He didn't yell. He moved slowly through the area, giving the dog time to figure out that there was no danger. It was always clear to the dogs. It would have been natural for them to go to veterinary school. The cost was too high for his family. He picked the next best thing. Learn from the very beginning by going to Hollywood, where the best dog trainers in the world worked. In 1990, on December 23rd, he told his mother he was going and took a bus to the bridge. After many years, he told Jada Pinkett Smith on Red Table Talk that what was waiting at the border wasn't just a fence to jump. You can buy from them. Area around the crossing, he said, they can kill you for organs. It's more likely that than jumping it. He still jumped it. He got to California with barely any English, no friends, and money that would run out in a few days. He ended up in San Diego, where he briefly lived on the streets, ate out of trash, and slept in a dog kennel where he had been able to talk his way into working. The dogs were cleaner and fed better than he was. He went to Los Angeles and got jobs grooming dogs and walking them in Englewood. He then built a dog walking business that was so successful that the Los Angeles Times wrote an article about it, which is how wealthy dog owners in LA found him. It's true that word only gets around when something really works. He wasn't using any official ways to train. He was putting whatever was inside him to use. The thing he had been carrying since the Culiacan farm. The sense that dogs knew what he meant before he said it. The link to Jada Pinkett Smith just happened on its own. He taught a dog how to behave for a person she knew. She saw him work and believed in him so much that she told him something that changed his job. He had to learn to speak English if he ever wanted to be on TV. Real English, not English for everyday use. The kind of English that a camera could land on 11 million people and make sense of. She sent a teacher to his South Central flat the next day. He studied, practiced, and purposely avoided groups of people who spoke Spanish. Instead, he hung out with people who spoke English until he could think in English instead of translating it. Years later, he gave her direct thanks. I can speak English now thanks to Jada. It was 18 years before he became a citizen of the United States in 2009. A production company called MPH Entertainment saw what he was doing with famous dogs in Los Angeles and made a pitch around it, which led to the TV show. The first episode of Dog Whisperer with Cesar Millan aired on the National Geographic Channel on September 13, 2004, but not many people watched it. It wasn't promoted by the network. In the beginning, the 30-minute episodes felt more like long ads than real shows because they were shown at odd times. It didn't matter. Word of mouth spread the news, which is what the network's marketing team didn't do. In the second season, it was moved to prime time and made an hour long. The New York Times said that by season 6, 11 million people in the United States watched each week. People from more than 80 countries around the world watched. As a Mexican illegal immigrant taught them how to talk to their dogs, everything worked. There were, however, scientists who also kept an eye on things, and they did not like what they saw from the very start. The day that smart people turned against him. The idea behind Cesar Millan's way was something he called calm, assertive energy. He thought that dogs thought of themselves as part of a pack, with a boss at the top. He thought that when a dog behaved badly or aggressively, it was usually because a person in the house had not yet established themselves as the pack leader. The dog acts dominantly, anxiously, or aggressively to fill the leadership void in the ETHU, only way it knows how. Caesar's job was to walk in, be the cool, strong presence the dog needed, and set things back to how they should be. It made for great TV material. It was truly amazing to see a dog that had been barking and biting a family for years become quiet and calm in just one afternoon lesson. In real time, it was like seeing someone do a kind of magic. People watching from their couches at home thought Caesar's answers made sense because they were based on the idea of natural hierarchy. What was wrong was that science didn't agree, and science had been changing for decades before the show even aired. In 2006, Dr. Nicholas Dodman, who ran the Animal Behavior Clinic at Tufts University's Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, wrote to the National Geographic Channel to say that the show had slowed down dog training by 20 years. An important animal behaviorist writer named Mark Darr wrote an article in the New York Times that same year saying that Caesar's method goes against what trained and certified veterinarians or ethologists know about what dogs do normally, and when they act out of the ordinary. They were very critical of the dominance theory in particular. The idea that dogs are pack animals that are always fighting to be the leader, and that people need to be in charge to keep things running smoothly. It took years of work by researchers to break this idea down. It turned out that the original studies on wolves that supported dominance theory were done on wolves that were kept as pets in controlled environments, not on wolf packs in the wild. When scientists watched wolf packs in the wild, they saw that leadership was usually shown by parents within family units, not by dominating enemies aggressively. The people who didn't like the alpha dog plan said that it was based on bad science from the start. The American Humane Association did more than just criticize the school. In 2006, they officially asked the National Geographic Channel to cancel the show because they said the training methods shown were cruel, out of date, and wrong. They also said the show was giving viewers dangerously wrong ideas about how to deal with bad dog behavior. In 2009, the American Veterinary Society of Animal Behavior warned that dominance-based training could make dogs scared and angry instead of calm them down. They didn't name Caesar by name, but it was clear who they were talking about. In 2012, Alan Titchmarsh, a British TV host, brought up Caesar directly on his afternoon show while showing video footage that he said showed Caesar punching a dog in the throat. He said it was more of a touch than a punch. However, Alan also used the RSPCA's view that Caesar's methods made dogs scared and made the behavior problems they were meant to fix worse. When these people criticized Caesar, he fought back hard. He had faith in what he was doing. It worked for him over and over again with hundreds of dogs over the course of 15 years. And not just on TV, where failure could be hidden by editing. He said that the academic critics knew a lot about theory, but had never been in a real-life situation with a violent animal and had to make a choice right then and there. He was right, but the argument was hurting people in ways that no amount of charm could fully fix. Advertisers keep an eye on scandal. Networks keep an eye on sponsors. Professional groups kept saying that the show was dangerous, which was slowly becoming a problem for National Geographic that would become a problem when the numbers started music going down. The pig that made everything different. It was one thing when critics wrote in academic papers. The cases were not the same. Someone who owned a dog sued Cesar Millan in 2012, saying that their dog had been hurt while appearing on Dog Whisperer. During a legal proceeding, the specifics of the case are always up for debate. However, the fact that there was a lawsuit added a legal layer to the controversy that academic criticism never had. In the past, it was just a disagreement between professionals. Now, insurance companies, network legal offices, and risk management teams pay close attention to it. According to Fluffy Tamer's analysis of the show's cancellation, the case made the network even more worried about the show. It was another thing added to a file that was getting longer every year. The more dangerous event happened later on Caesar 911, his show that came after Dog Whisperer finished.